In China, there lived a master craftsman whose skill with wood and paint was legendary. He was a mask maker, renowned for turning lifeless materials into stunning, peerless works of art. One evening, a stranger arrived at the workshop, but this visitor's own face was completely hidden from view. The stranger had a highly specific request. He demanded a mask that looked absolutely real, not a clever imitation, but something entirely indistinguishable from actual human flesh. To guarantee the work, the stranger presented a bag overflowing with solid gold. Overwhelmed by the sight of the fortune, the craftsman pushed aside any doubts. He accepted the impossible commission and promised delivery in exactly 7 days. By trading his artistic boundaries for the blinding allure of wealth, the craftsman had committed himself to a deadline he could not possibly meet. The work began immediately. Drawing on years of elite experience, the mask maker was initially confident his chisels and brushes could meet the stranger's extreme demand. But as the hours bled into days, the psychological toll mounted. He was trying to push inanimate materials across the strict boundary between masterful artifice and actual life. The uncanny valley is a psychological concept where a near-perfect human replica elicits deep visual revulsion rather than acceptance. As the craftsman pushed closer to reality, he triggered this discomfort, a failure repeated across 6 continuous days of work. A lifetime of elite craftsmanship proved useless against natural law. You cannot chisel perfection out of a block of wood and expect it to become living flesh and bone. By the evening of the 6th day, the craftsman was desperate. His pride was completely shattered as he realized he was going to fail the contract. The 7th day dawned, and the ticking clock on his deadline officially expired. Right on schedule, the faceless stranger returned to the workshop to collect his promised prize. Exhausted and defeated, the craftsman handed over his final attempt, a carving that was beautifully made, but obviously still artificial. He had just broken a very dangerous agreement. Now, standing defenseless in front of a nameless entity, the mask maker was entirely at the mercy of his client's judgment. The mysterious man accepted that the transaction was complete. He turned and departed the workshop with a mask in his possession. He walked out carrying a mask, but it wasn't the one carved in that workshop. To understand this, we have to look back at the exact literal terms of the agreement. The stranger demanded a face that was absolutely real. Since the carved mask was rejected as artificial, only one absolutely real face remained in that room that fit the client's strict description. The stranger literally carved off the craftsman's own living face, and he claimed it as his final, finished product. The bag of gold was never payment for a carving. It was a calculated distraction, keeping the craftsman so focused on the money that he failed to ask why a man with a hidden face would need a real one. Greed narrows our focus to the prize, masking the catastrophic price of the contracts we strike.